Good tidings and a happy new year to all. I hope everyone had a good time celebrating Christmas or however you like to spend the holiday season. Feel I have personally consumed enough calories over the past 5 days to feed several families, meaning I'll likely go into hibernation for all of January. Last week we took a look at my favourite albums of 2022, so I thought this week to celebrate the new year we'd look forward to the most anticipated albums due to be released in 2023. As last time, the list goes in order of which they'll be released, so it's not ranked on how excited I am for them, as I'll be doing reviews for each of these throughout the year. Confirmed release dates for albums only seem to run up to around April in 2023 as well, so there's going to be albums listed that are announced for 2023, but they just don't have a specified release date yet, alongside some bands which I hope we'll be hearing news from in the new year. So raise a glass to look forward to 2023, and let's get on with it. Kicking off the year, Circa Waves will be releasing Never Going Under on the 13th of January. Now, if you're anything like me, you'll certainly have sung T-shirt, whether at the top of your lungs, on someone's shoulders at a festival in the past 7 years. I also really like the Different Creatures album, so the fact this one comes out first hopefully is setting us up for a good start to the year. Next up, everyone's favourite glam Italian rock band Maneskin are releasing their album Rush on the 20th of January. Maneskin are a band that have always kind of intrigued me, because they make music with incredibly raspy vocals, alongside certain riffs that sound incredibly familiar, if you catch my drift. But generally what they make sounds pretty decent, so I'll be sure to listen to Rush. They also seem to have a deep hatred for wearing t-shirts, which can only be a plus. Now, February is absolutely packed with releases, starting with Paramore, This Is Why on the 10th of February. I feel if you don't know who Paramore are, you need to go educate yourself, or wait for my review in February. But either way, you need to get to know the previous emo rock queen Hayley Williams and her loyal subjects that form Paramore. And to be honest, it seems like they kind of just returned out of nowhere, as my newsfeed was suddenly filled with videos of them absolutely smashing it. So I look forward to their full return when they drop This Is Why. On the 17th of January, Inhaler dropped their album Cuts and Bruises. Inhaler are a pretty decent band who are on the come up with their second release after supporting Arctic Monkeys on their European tour. They also spilt the fact that Arctic Monkeys carry around a portable bar with them on tour. News I didn't know I needed in my life till I heard it. A big one in February for me is Gorillaz releasing Cracker Island on the 24th of February. If you've seen my previous video on Gorillaz vs Blur, you'll know how much I love Gorillaz. I already love the singles from this album, especially New Gold that features Tame Impala and Booty Brown. So you can be sure to expect a review of this album flying in your face upon its release. Now, both fortunately and unfortunately, another massive album I'm excited for is coming out the same day as Gorillaz' release, which is the Lathum's second album, From Nothing to a Little Bit More, on the 24th of February. The third video I ever made for this channel was about the Lathums, was where I really started enjoying making videos, to be honest. Even though it wasn't a particularly good video I made, not that any of them are. But regardless, I love the Lathums. They're a great indie rock folk band from Wigan in the north of England. They have some absolute belters and a great live, so I'm really looking forward to their second album. After a bit of a break, we then get to hear Lewis Capaldi's new album, Broken by Desire to be Heavenly Sent, on the 19th of May. I like Lewis Capaldi, and I think it's great to have someone who seems very genuine and down to earth, especially in mainstream pop music. It helps he releases pretty good music as well, albeit sad boy music, all whilst being complemented by his very strong voice. I liked his first album, but I thought it needed a bit more variety on it, and from his singles so far that will feature on his second album, I think we'll be getting just that, alongside your standard great Lewis Capaldi interviews, I hope. And to finish off the fully confirmed dates section, DMAs will be releasing How Many Dreams on the 31st of March, a band ultimately full of hype, and such is what I will be expecting from this album. Now we move on to the albums which are going to be released in 2023, but we don't have that specific date for when. First up, The Killer's new album is suspected to be released in early 2023, a date which would fit in pretty well with their tour, alongside their announcement to headline Reading and Leeds in the summer of 2023. Jack Black and Kyle Gass of Tenacious D are set to return with a new release, having stated how they are working on something for 2023, but the material is too powerful to preview, which is completely understandable if you've experienced the magic of their music before. In the meantime, I'd suggest you check out their recent cover of Wicked Game by Chris Isaac. It's quite incredible. Noel Gallagher and his High Flying Birds are also set to release something stated to be around his birthday, sort of May time. Legendary band The Cure are scheduled to release an album for the first time in about 15 years, with their album Songs of a Lost World. It was originally teased to come out in October 2022, but it's looking more like an ambiguous 2023 release date now. The kings of emo pop rock, Blink-182, have returned with their single Edging and upcoming tour, alongside their album suspected to be released around spring or summer. And finally, Dua Lipa stated how her new album felt around half done and could be up for a 2023 release date, but potentially may be pushed back to 2024 as she seems to have been working on it a bit with Elton John. So alongside the confirmed releases for 2023, here are some bands that don't seem to be releasing an album, but I'm hoping for some news on. First up, we've got some newer indie bands called Little Suspicions and Almost Monday. They've been releasing pretty good singles so far, so hopefully we get to see if they're releasing an album in the next year or two. I've listed some bands that reflect their style of music, so I'd recommend checking them out if you like the below. We also haven't had an album from The Vaccines since 2021 in Back in Love City, as although we did have the Planet of the Youth EP in 2022, I feel an album is kind of due at some point. So I'm hoping we're due an announcement for them soon, as they are one of my favourite bands. Or maybe one of Justin's other projects such as Halloween's. And at this current moment, there's no news on Arctic Monkeys or the 1975, but to be fair, they did just release albums and they're busy touring. But there it is, our roundup for what we get to look forward to next year in 2023. Personally for me, I'm already looking forward to a lot of these releases and it seems it's going to be a jam-packed year. As always, be sure to let me know what albums you're looking forward to in 2023. The past few months of discussing music on this channel has genuinely been a pleasure, so I can only say thank you to everyone who's been watching and commenting, discussing their opinions, and also slating me for my opinion on Humbug. I can't wait for next year, and I'll be sure to stay on top of all these releases, alongside the various other styles of videos I make. I hope you've all had a great 2022, and if not, just think that you made it through it. I'm wishing you all a very happy new year, and here's to a great 2023. Cheers. And on that note, I think I'll say ta-ra for now, and I'll see you later.